Hello and welcome to Spencer's Library. I'm Claudia and today I'm taking you along on my day as a Humanities PhD student during a lockdown. I say that as if it's much different to what my day would be if there wasn't a lockdown and if I was able to walk around freely and go to my university. I haven't done one of these vlogs in a while and my approach to work has changed somewhat since the last time I did this, so I thought it might be interesting to do an updated version of my Humanities PhD vlog. For context, my PhD is in musicology and I'm only about a third of the way through at the moment. I'm doing it part-time, so that's a very, very long drawn process. The first thing I need to do though, and this is maybe something I neglected somewhat last time I did a vlog, well, I'll show you. Let me just turn around in my office chair so you can see what my desk actually looks like. It's a huge mess. Look at that. I count at least 4 bottles of nail polish, 2 mugs, random bits of kitchen stuff, just stuff everywhere. How am I supposed to work on a desk like that? So the first thing I'm going to do on this, I want to say bright and early Tuesday morning, but it isn't particularly bright. First thing I'm going to do is give this desk a good old tidy. That's much better. I have space now. I think Minerva's enjoying it as well. Now I'm just going to get my materials out and start working. What I'm doing at the moment is editing a piece of writing that I have been putting together over the past week. And I am not very good at writing. It is a weakness of mine. I'm very slow and I am too perfectionist in my first go, which sounds like a good thing because it means that theoretically I can get a piece written and it is good straight away. But realistically, it just takes me a lot longer to get a piece of writing done because I write it, spend way too much time on it, and then have to edit it anyway. So today is going to be one such editing day, although I expect that I'm still going to add a lot of writing to that. Minerva's just enjoying looking out the window. It's a favourite thing to do. Let me get a bit of this editing work done and then I want to talk about what actually has changed since the before times in terms of my workday, because as much as I like to joke that I'm basically still living the same life I did before lockdown or not, that's technically not true. I think we've all had to make adjustments to our lives and our work days, and I certainly have as well. So I'm going to talk about that for you in a minute, for me in a few hours, because first I want to get some work done. Okay, let's take a break here. I have noticed as I was editing and typing and adding bits that the piece that I've written needs a bit of a major overhaul. It needs some paragraphs added, it needs a few things fact-checked, and of course I need to format all of the citations, etc. before I can send this off to my supervisor to be looked over. If you're interested in what exactly I'm actually typing, I am writing a piece on Hannah More, who was an 18th and 19th century moralist writer, and I'm writing about her writings and her commentary on domestic music. My musicology PhD focuses on domestic music in early 19th century Britain, and she is one of the major commentators of the time that discussed domestic music as part of the wider context of women's education and women's culture of accomplishments. If you're interested in the subject of my PhD, by the way, I've done a few videos in the past that touch upon issues that I am researching. I did a video about music in Jane Austen's time, and I did a video about music in Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, both of which I will link in the description box. But now I'm going to get myself a cup of tea and a biscuit. I am in the UK after all, and then let's have a chat about how things have changed post-COVID for me. I'm back and I've got my cup of tea, which, by the way, how cool is this Doctor Who mug? COVID happened, didn't it? And we're all working from home, and so am I, and so is my husband, and that has changed things a little bit in how I do my PhD every day. The biggest change is obviously having another person in the house. Now I'm fortunate enough to have an office space by myself, and Bill has a box room that is his office where he's got his desk. He basically drove to his office and picked up all of the things, you know, his headset, his extra monitors, even his office chair, his standing desk. So he's got a full office setup in the box room, and I'm still working here at my desk. Before, in the before times, I used to kind of switch up where I work a lot. So I'd do a little bit of work at my desk, I'll do a little bit of work like in the kitchen, a little bit of work in the living room, just because I felt like the change of scenery was good for my brain. But now that we're sharing the space, I'm much more conscious and much more, I guess, respectful that Bill and I keep our separate spaces during the workday. So I'm doing the huge majority of my PhD in this room, and that has led to some serious back issues. I'm only 29, but after a week of sitting at my desk, I get a really stiff neck and my back really hurts. So ways that I've been trying to combat that, the first one is pretty much daily exercise. I do that mostly in the mornings before I start my day, or in the afternoons after I finish. And getting a laptop stand. Let me show you this. You can see how the laptop is propped up on this stand. That's helped a little bit with the pain, and it has helped a lot with just making working a little bit more pleasant, because I'm not constantly looking down, so I'm not as hunched over when I look at my laptop screen. I got this laptop stand on Amazon, I believe. If I can find the exact same one, I'll link that in the description box. It's very sturdy, it's served me well so far. It also means that I'm using a proper keyboard. It's one of them clicky ones. And I got that one from Bill. He has like a full box full of keyboards. I don't know why, and I don't want to ask. Anyway, he provided the keyboard, the mouse, and the little USB hub where I can plug everything in, because of the laptop that I'm using, which is a Microsoft Surface laptop. It only has one USB port, so I need the USB hub to plug everything into it. But basically it's made my office setup a little bit less mobile. In the before times, I would pretty much just use my laptop as it is, and then it was easy enough to pack up and carry around with me when I took it to university. Now that I'm not taking my laptop anywhere, it's pretty much just set up as it is, and it makes it a little bit easier for me to type and work without constantly bending down like that. Alright, I will enjoy my tea break while watching some YouTube videos or something like that. Eat those biscuits, they are screaming at me, and then we'll get back to work after that. It's important, even when you work from home, to take breaks, to just switch off occasionally and do something else, and not feel like just because your work now takes place in your home, that everything has to be work. So Bill, where did you get the keyboard?
Amazon.
I got it from Amazon.
It's a KB Paradise V80 Tenkeyless.
And you just know that?
Yeah. That's what it says on it, isn't it?
It says KB PV 8000.
That's way too many zeros.
No, I know what an 8000
Oh,
looks
that's
like.
the model number, yeah. Yeah, but it says they're V80.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah. That's the name of it. So
Right.
it's KB Paradise V80.
And you said this is called a quiet click.
It uses Mateus quiet click switches, which are based on the old Alps switches. Yeah. They have a bit of an issue with keyboard chatter on some of the switches, but otherwise they are quite nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Link in the description box.
Yeah. How do you like my torso on the screen there?
It's very nice. Everyone's going to appreciate that. You're still in the frame. Right, see you at lunch.
If you're lucky.
I wanted to bring up the topic of online conferences and online meetings and online seminars. Possibly the biggest change to being an academic in lockdown, or being an academic in a time when people try and avoid and meet large groups, is how conferences have moved online. And I, for one, welcome that change. I'm living in a kind of a shut-off part of the country. It's a long way on the train to get to anywhere else in the UK, pretty much. And conferences has always been an accessibility issue for me. I don't have the funds to travel all over the country or even all over the world for a conference, and the measly amounts of money that my university offers up for conferences and research-related travel isn't really enough to cover the costs for your typical conference. But this year I have already taken part in 2 conferences that were both online, and both of them were completely free for me to attend, and I could do that from the comfort of this very office. I am a huge fan of the online conference, the online seminar. I know people have been moaning about not being able to network face-to-face, but I'm an introvert. I don't network face-to-face anyway. I miss absolutely nothing about face-to-face conferences. I certainly don't miss the food. I certainly don't miss sitting through a long session that is bad. And here, if I'm watching a conference on Zoom, I can literally zoom out if I'm hearing a speaker that is just bad. And you know there's always at least one in every session, there's always at least one speaker where you're actually wondering how they got accepted, if they were really that desperate to fill the program that they invited that person along. And on the other hand, when you have a really good speaker, when you have a really good paper, I find it much easier to focus on that and to take notes right here on my laptop, and for example to Google any terms that might come up that I don't understand, or to take my own notes much quicker than I would with pen and paper, which is what I would normally do if I'm watching a paper face-to-face. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Zoom conference, and I hope that that is a change that persists post-COVID. I hope that that is a change that universities consider keeping. Obviously, you can still have face-to-face conferences, but making conferences so much more accessible by moving them online, in my opinion, is a good thing. I just thought that you needed to know that Bill just sent me this message. So here you go. Poor little Minerva, did you get a fright? Did you get a fright? Right, I think it's lunchtime. And I'm back from lunch, which honestly today was just a peanut butter sandwich because sometimes I cannot be bothered to cook for lunch, and that's fine. So I've come back, I took a little bit of a break, just sat and put the news channel on for a bit. Not the most relaxing thing to watch. And now I have myself a coffee because early afternoon is always when I get extremely tired. So tired. I could go and have a lie down now and easily sleep for an hour or two, but I'm gonna take the old caffeine shortcut and try and power through. I wanted to bring up something else that has changed post-lockdown, post-COVID, and that is that I don't have access to a printer because I don't have my own printer. I had one once, and then Bill left the window open in my office one day and it rained all over the printer and it flooded my office with ink and broke the printer. So now I don't have a printer anymore. And that was fine because I get free printing from my university. I've always been able to just go there and have stuff printed, but I can't at the moment. And that's been a little bit annoying because I prefer to read journal articles on paper and not off my computer screen. That's definitely slowed down my work progress simply because the way that I absorb information the best is by reading something on paper and then scribbling in the margins and highlighting bits and adding my own commentary, my own questions. Without being able to annotate the things that I read very easily, I take a lot longer to go through a journal article than before. I really hope this coffee kicks in soon. Anyway, we have a few more hours to go for the day. We can do this. Had a good nap. You're so warm. It is almost 3 o'clock and I'm about ready for my afternoon break. So in a bit I'm going to go and get myself some sort of snack. I wanted to mention productivity and organisation a little bit before I go on my break. If you have seen my previous PhD vlogs, you may have seen me wave around my planner, my bullet journal. You may have seen me write a to-do list on my whiteboard. I'm not doing any of that at the moment. I'm using my journal almost exclusively just to keep notes from my supervisor meetings, which are obviously all taking place over video call at the moment. I am definitely less organised than I normally am. I think it's probably something that you might be able to identify with. I'm not my usual organized, check off everything on the to-do list kind of a self. And I think that's fine. I think it's important when we are in exceptional circumstances to recognize those exceptional circumstances and to treat ourselves with kindness and dignity. And for me that means that I sit down every day and I try and do the best I can. I get dressed in the morning so I don't work in pyjamas. To be completely honest, it has happened. I have worked in pyjamas on some days, but I always notice that I do better if I at least bother with like a bra and a top and putting my hair out the way. I sit down every morning and I just try and do my best. And some days that isn't very much at all. Some days I sit down and I think I'm going to write 1,000 words today. And by the end of the day, I've written 100 words and I've hated every single one of them. And that happens. And then there's other days when I get really sucked into the work and I don't notice the time passing. And then there's days like today where I look at the time every 5 minutes and I'm wondering whether I'm stuck in some sort of time loop because the day just doesn't seem to pass. I've managed to edit probably 3/4 of the thing I wanted to edit, but I was hoping that I'd be done with it by now and I'm not. It's almost 3 o'clock. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I might actually sit downstairs in the living room and grab a book and just do a little bit of reading and get away from my office. I want to take a break now. And when I get back, I want to sit down and see how much I can still do. Working from home is difficult. And working from home when you are only really accountable to yourself is even harder. Because there is no one here telling me to get back to work. There's no one here holding me accountable. There's no one who tells me off if I don't do enough. So I have to be my own boss. But I also have to be my own therapist in a way. I have to be my own mother telling me to get off my desk and go for a walk. I have to be my own best friend. And that's the thing that I'm finding hardest about doing a PhD in the first place, but specifically about doing a PhD in these special circumstances. Just as I said, I'm all alone, Minerva. Have you got something to say about that, Minerva? Nope, she's completely ignoring me. I've just taken like 15 minutes, ate some pretzels, did some reading. I mean fun reading rather than, research. I'm almost done for today. My concentration levels have gone right down. So what I'm going to do for the rest of the day, well, like the last hour or so, is do some admin, check my emails, write some emails, what I call kind of low intensity research. That means finding things I want to read, having a quick scan of them, and then saving them on my laptop so that at some point when I have more energy, for example tomorrow morning, when my concentration levels and my focus levels are filled up again, I can tackle those. But I'm going to finish the vlog for now because I think you've probably seen enough footage of me typing and clicking around and looking at my laptop. That's all the PhD is in the humanities. It's all you do. You sit at your laptop, you read some stuff, you write some stuff. It's really honestly quite dull, but it's what I've chosen to do. If you have any questions about my day or about what I do, post them in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. Let me know if you want to see more vlogs like that. I don't know why you would, because they're all going to be like this. And let me know if you are also a PhD student, how you are handling researching during these extraordinary times. Thank you for watching. Bye.